Welcome to the weather forecast for the week beginning Wednesday, July 21st, 2021. I'm Chief Meteorologist John Ensworth for Longmont Public Media. I'm coming to you this week from the Woodland Park Library, so you might see and hear library things happening in the background. Friday, July 23rd, we have a full moon rising just around sunset and setting around sunrise. Taking a look at our drought conditions, we see a little lessening of the drought in the central southern mountains and a little worsening of droughts over on the Utah border going from last week to this week. Everything out on the eastern plains is in great shape still. Taking a look nationally, not much changes between the two except in the northern tier of states here. We have a little worsening drought in many locations just because this ridge that we're going to be talking a lot about today is really persistent. It's been around for weeks now, really roasting the west, and that isn't going to change. Let's take a look at smoke with those drought conditions and fires out west. You got fire sources here in California and Oregon. You can see it going up and over the ridge, some of it cycling back around into the desert southwest. We have a little patch of not so bad air coming in. This is smoke at all levels. So you can see there's some local fires here putting a little bit of smoke down. We can take a look at surface smoke only. It's definitely limited to the regions where the fires are more than any place else. We see a little upslope here bringing some smoke back. Most of it is moderate in nastiness and decreases in the daytime. And staying largely east of the mountains. Taking a look at precipitation for the last week. Here's the I-25 corridor from Fort Collins down to Denver. Really nothing here, a few spotty things now and then, but up in the mountains, a few thunderstorm locations, got some good rain. On the plains, especially Colorado Springs eastward, there's some spots here that got 3-4 inches of rain. Of course, we had locally heavy rain that prompted some evacuations in the mountains as well. It's because the storm motion is almost zero. So there's a fair amount of water that can come out of the storms when they form. They don't go anywhere. Then one place just gets hit where 5 miles away it may be completely dry. Again, that's part of the pattern that we'll continue to see. Even though Wednesday, Thursday, there'll be a little more drift to storms, they'll move on. Wherever we have a burn scar, things could certainly be worse. So Wednesday, we have the high right around the Four Corners. It's just about on top of our heads. The ridge axis sort of is. You can see where the circulation can bring moisture in. Taking a look at the water vapor satellite, the grays and white coloration here, or shading, is the moist air. The oranges and reds here are very dry air. And I kind of put this in a loop and watched and traced some of the motion in these moisture flow fields, and they're kind of pooling in and around Colorado. So the amount of precipitation that can fall is increasing as the atmosphere gets more moist. And this is precipitable water anomaly, so the greens are above normal atmospheric moisture, and you can see there's just a good plume coming up into the west. This is that monsoonal flow that the desert southwest likes to talk about. Some meteorologists don't like using the term monsoon. They want that to reflect the unique pattern over India involving the Himalayas and the ocean, but it's popular enough that you can call it that. Going by Friday, not much has changed. Still got this thick plume of moisture over Colorado, Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, and Southern California, Nevada. Just the moisture's there for storms to form. So, taking a look at the convective outlook, we don't have any severe chances nearby. They do down here in southern Arizona, but on Wednesday, Thursday, except the plains, and Friday, again, sort of the plains are out, we have a chance of convection. Thunderstorms can form. By Monday, we see the ridges now kind of extending right across Colorado, lots of high heights here. Temperatures are going to be really warm. We might see next week a return to 100 degrees plus for a day or two. So let's take a look at the next 10 days. The normal is 90 and the normal low is 60 for the entire 10 days. We are at the peak heat climatologically for Colorado. You see a good chance of precipitation at the beginning of the pattern here, and then every afternoon there's a chance of storms. A little more later on, you can see the temperatures drop down again. I don't think the high temperatures are being reflected well by this ensemble, but the overall pattern is. So let's put the upper level pattern into motion. We can keep an eye on this high center, so it sinks down by Friday into the desert southwest, and then kind of reforms in New Mexico. The ridge axis is just to our west. By Monday, you can see it kind of moving back to the east, then it forms over northern Colorado, Wyoming, and then right over our heads by Wednesday. And now it's definitely drifted across Colorado and is to our east, and then extending a big strong ridge east-west across much of the nation and the mountain west. So the high pressure is going to be a big story here. Take a look at the temperatures. With the moisture in that plume, the southwest is actually below normal temperatures, where right above that we have above normal temperatures reflected by the position of the ridge. And if you watch as we go into Monday, the heat just really builds out here across the northern states, the entire west. Monsoonal moisture, afternoon thunderstorms pop up in one frame every day cycle, and the heat just holds on through the end of the month. The moisture is what's most important for these thunderstorms, and you can see that even though winds shift and things move around a little bit, there's a pretty persistent plume of above normal precipitable water through Sunday and into Monday and on into next week. Good shot of moisture with a tropical system that might be spinning up off here. It's not named currently. So looking at the future radar, basically, you can see the afternoon thunderstorms popping up. They do favor the western slopes and southern mountains a little more than we've seen so far this summer, but every afternoon they pop up and drift a little bit and then fade out as the night stabilizes. So over the next 5 days, the southwestern part of the state gets the larger amount of precipitation the eastern plains miss out. Some of these locations are up to 3 inches of rain, possibly. We'll see. Over the next 10 days, the southwestern mountains and central mountains get a lot of this thunderstorm activity. This is good because this is the drought-stricken region out here. So let it rain. So looking at the next week, we have 90s. On the weekend, we sink right down to normal and then possibly shoot towards 100 at the beginning of next week, with varying chances of thunderstorm activity based on the availability of moisture and the suppressing action of the ridge itself. So that's it for this week from the library. Signing off here. Check out Longmont Leader for local news and frequent weather updates by me. I've been Chief Meteorologist John Ensworth. Keep looking up.